Hello everyone. Today we're going to learn how to do a wrap bands design on a simple 4 Temari. Here's what you'll need. A Temari marked in a simple 4 division, at least 2 colors of design thread plus an outline color, a needle, and some embroidery scissors. Some colored pins will also be useful. First, pick the color you want to be in the center of your bands. We will be working from the guideline outward, so think about whether you want to work from light to dark or dark to light, for example. In this case, I'm going to use the light blue first. Measure off 4 wraps of thread, which will make 2 rows on each side of the marking line. Be sure to leave a little bit of extra thread at each end for starting and stopping. Tie a knot and thread your needle. Come up right beside one of your marking lines. And wrap 2 rows of thread on one side. When you get back to the beginning, stitch the other side of the line. It helps to end off your second row by going into the ball about a needle's width beyond where you entered it to begin the first row, just to prevent any visual gaps from forming. Come up on the other side of the line and wrap 2 rows there. End off with a V-stitch to really anchor the thread into the ball, since wrap bands have very little stitching actually holding them in place. Straighten up the edges of your band with the edge of your needle or your fingernails, and then add a colored pin to the center of the band so you know this one was done first. The order of the bands will be important when we add the second color. Repeat the process again for the second band. Measure off 4 wraps of thread. Wrap 2 rows on each side of the band. As you can see, it doesn't matter where you come up along the line, especially not for your first ball. If you keep all of your starts and stops on one side of the ball, you can always position that side of the ball away from view when you display it. End off with a V-stitch. And add a colored pin to show this row was done second. If all of your pins are the same color, add 2 pins instead. Now repeat the process for the third band. Measure off 4 wraps of thread. Wrap 2 rows on each side of the band. End off with a V-stitch. And add a colored pin so you know this is the third band. Now we're ready to add the second color. In this case, I'm using the darker blue. Once again, I'll be adding 2 rows to each side of the band, so I'll measure off 4 wraps of thread. Find the first band and wrap 2 rows on each side. End off with a V-stitch. Repeat the process for the second band. You can now see the layered boxes of color forming around the intersections. This is why it was important to keep track of the order of our bands. Repeat once more for the third band. Now we'll add our outline rows. I usually use the same color that I chose for my marking lines, but that's up to you. The outline is only a single row on each side of the band, so just measure off 2 wraps this time. Wrap 1 row of outline color on each side of each band, being sure to follow the correct order of the bands. At this point, you can remove your colored pins. You will probably find that your outline rows want to roll away from your bands now, especially at the intersections. That's fine, because our next step is decorative cross stitches that will help hold everything together. Cut off a comfortable length of thread. There's no exact measurement for this step, so just cut off a length that seems good to you. Come up in the corner of one of your intersections and take a diagonal stitch straight across to the opposite corner. Stitch under the band to come up in the next corner and complete your cross. Try to take these stitches into the surface thread right at the corners of the intersections rather than tucked under the band to avoid pinching in the edges of the band. Stitch underground to another intersection and repeat all the way around the ball. Once you've finished your last cross stitch, end off your thread. And that's it. You've completed a Wrap Bands Temari.